They are back again, what Reebok considers its first signature sneaker. Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look on something that is so 90s, I cannot believe they are back again. For those of you guys that don't know what these are, this is the Reebok Shaq Attaq. It is the first Reebok signature basketball shoe, in addition to being Shaq's first signature basketball shoe, which is really cool. This is the box this year. So we've got a pull-out style drawer box. We've got Shaq's logo on there, which he actually owns. So that's like a fun fact and everything. He owned and trademarked that Dunkman logo that you see on the back there. He did that all himself, which was really smart. He's one of the first players to actually like trademark their own way back in the day. Not a lot of players actually followed suit until just recently. But again, this is the Reebok Shaq Attaq. The original release released in 1992. We've got a couple of fun facts since we have reviewed the shoe before. So with that being said, here is fun fact number one. Actually, I already said it. It's Reebok's first signature basketball shoe.
Then tell us number two.
Damn it. Fun fact number two, the designer is actually a female. Her name is Judy Close. Not only did she design the Reebok Shaq Attaq, but she also designed the Reebok BB 4600. She was the sole designer on the Reebok Blacktop series, which is a fan favorite, something that I feel they should be re-releasing instead of stuff like this, even though I like this. I mean, how many Reebok questions have we got?
Too many.
So yeah, so I think that those should come back. Also, she designed one of Reebok's most famous basketball shoes, or one of, as far as the early 90s goes, and it is actually sitting right behind me back there.
The pump?
Yes, the D Brown pumps. It was the Omni Zone. She designed that shoe too. One last fun fact, by the time that they signed him to the beginning of the first season that he was supposed to be playing as a rookie, they only had 4 months to get this thing done. I'm talking about drawn, concept, prototype, sample. Doing that for Shaq is hard because sample sizes typically are size 9 and size 13. Shaq's a size 20 at the time, so that was difficult. He ended up growing into a 22, which is insane. So yeah, they were able to get this thing done within 4 months and on his feet for game one of his 1992 debut. And for those wondering how long it typically takes to design and manufacture a sneaker from like start to finish, nowadays it's about 2 years. And that was the standard even back then. So again, 4 months is incredible. Now the shoe isn't super tech heavy. However, they did make the shoe extremely lightweight and extremely supportive, something that is really just weird to think about when you're thinking about Shaq. You don't think about lightweight, you do think about support, but not together. Although a rookie Shaq was quite nimble.
I was gonna say, these were his lighter years.
Yes. He was just incredible to watch. It was so fun. But the traction on the bottom is real interesting. You've got thick herringbone. You also have almost like a, is it inverted or reverted?
I was gonna say a reverse version of the Jordan 6.
Correct, or the Jordan 7 or Jordan 8, and it would be closer to the 6, although it would be the 7 too, just because 1992, 91 was the 6. That's when we first saw this, but they also reused it the next 2 years on the 7 and the 8. But again, we have almost a reverse version of that traction in addition to the herringbone. Something that you can kind of see is that the outsole itself is decoupled, so it's not a full length piece of rubber. You got a heel panel and then you have a forefoot panel, which is really cool. That's something that we would see utilized more often nowadays in today's footwear. But back then, again, they were trying to make something extremely lightweight but supportive, so reducing the rubber or the amount of rubber used is one of the easiest ways for footwear manufacturers to reduce weight overall. They do that still today, so you wonder why shoes are so like thin on the bottoms and everything. It's because all of that rubber that they're carving out is saving an incredible amount of weight, and that way they can put other things in other places, and that's kind of like evens it all out. Now the midsole is basic EVA, so we don't have anything too special here. However, we do have the cutout zones right there, so that allows for some compression. What I find very interesting about this shoe, especially being that it's Shaq's shoe, is that this graphite plate that runs almost full length throughout the shoe is where your foot is actually sitting. So like if you were to take out the insole, put your finger on the carbon plate and then knock on it, you're literally feeling that plate underneath the strobel, which is really, really crazy because you would think that his foot would be wanting to touch foam before anything else, but that's just the way that they did it. Now that plate, they are calling a graphite plate. I tried to see if graphite was the same as carbon fiber. It's technically different, even though it's damn near the same thing. So I will say, just for me personally, this is not like a straight up fact, this is just the way that I feel, that this shoe is the first basketball shoe to feature carbon fiber. Even though it's called graphite, but again, it's almost the same thing. Graphite's nowhere near as strong as carbon fiber, so that's like the main difference, is that carbon fiber, they say, can be like stronger than steel. This is definitely not that. Now the upper on these guys is a mixture between synthetics and actual leathers. The leathers feel a little bit thinner than the last release that I had of these. I had I think it was like released for the first time in 2013 or something like that. I did have that shoe. I no longer have it. This is my only pair now. Actually, I have two because Reebok sent one and I didn't know that they were going to, and I bought one on release date, so oops. But thank you, I appreciate it. And yeah, I don't actually remember what the leather was like. I just remember that it was nice and it was soft and all that stuff. And we've got pretty much the same thing here. The blue panels though that you'll see throughout, like that shiny kind of blue, which I absolutely love, is actually synthetic. So that's kind of like that cheap vinyl material. I don't love the material, I just love how it looks. Now some of the overlays that are really nice material is this black section right there. It's kind of like a textured material, almost like nubuck, not quite though. That actually really reminds me of the Air Jordan 8. They used that on the toe of the Air Jordan 8 playoffs. So if you see that material and you're like, oh, that looks familiar, it was on the Shaq Attaq first. And then we got suede as far as the Reebok logo goes, and I think that it looks nice. I mean, there's nothing really to complain about. I dig it. And something that I think is also quite interesting is that the toe of the shoe right here is, I don't know if it's official, but you remember those Jordan women's shoes that we did that are like the 13s? It's one of my favorite like Jordan products, period. But the original colorway, the white, black, and reds, those look like they bit off this shoe's toe like crazy, like literally copy and paste. I don't know if it's the same person that designed it. I don't actually know who designed that original shoe, but for whatever reason, they bit the Shaq Attaq. That's actually 3 times that you can count the brand. This is back when it was Nike, not including the women's Jordan, that was Jordan brand, where they bit the toe, they bit the black material, and they took the carbon fiber plate. Nike wasn't always on top. In this time frame, Reebok was it. Although at that time, Reebok was looking for their Michael Jordan, which they were hoping was Shaq, and they were hoping it was Sean Kemp. Turns out it was Allen Iverson.
And they've never let it go.
No, signed him to a lifetime deal, he's stuck. Now they do have a Reebok pump system. It is an air bladder that is in the tongue only, so it's not a wraparound system, it's just the tongue. It does work, it's just a pain in the ass. I don't know if they were originally like that. I could never afford a pair of pumps when I was a kid. All I know is that they do work. I was able to get them pumped up. I was able to do the air release, which is right over here, but I cannot get it to be consistent, so I don't know if I'm just not blocking the stupid airway channel. Like there's like little holes in there where you gotta, and it goes, you know, and then you release it and the valve goes psst. But I can't get it to work. It's just, I can't get it to work every time. And you got some additional Shaq branding right there on the back of the tongue. I absolutely love it. You can also pull out the insole to find an ortholite with some graphics on there, which is really cool. And then underneath the ortholite, they actually added something new. This is not an original feature, but it's a additional layer of foam, so a little bit more comfort. As far as their comfort is concerned, even though it is basic EVA with no hexalite or anything like that, they are still quite comfortable for what they are. So if you're looking for something with a 90s flair, I mean, you know what I mean? Like high top, everything, it's a nice comfortable shoe. It's not going to be a brick like polyurethane would be. Now before we get into sizing, I got 2 cool things to talk about. The first of which is that we have a brand new channel. It's called WearTesters in Espanol. So if you are a Spanish speaker, whether that's from South America or overseas in like Spain and all that stuff, we've got you covered. We've been working on this for about a year. So it's finally just launched. It's really cool, I think. If this is successful, I would love to do other ones. Like this has been my plan this whole time, is to make WearTesters really kind of global. And it would be great to have a WearTesters Philippines and so on and so forth. So if you are a Spanish speaker and you wanted shoe reviews in, you know, Spanish, then head over there. We'll have a link down below in the description box and it'll head you over to that channel where you can subscribe. Second thing, speaking of something that we've been working on for a few years, this has been like 6+ years in the making. I am collabing with Soul Science, or not me personally, but my other brand, which is Sense Apparel. It's all about stuff like this, like nostalgic. We've got our very first scent coming out. So this is pretty cool. This is the Fresh Scents Antidote smell and everything like that. So what I tried to do with this, or what we were trying to do with this, is mimic or replicate that brand new shoe smell. You guys have no idea how many scents of glue and leather I have smelled over the last 6+ years just to come up with this. The one thing that you will see in this or notice is that when you spray it in your shoes, there's going to be an additional scent, and that would be the deodorizer and the antimicrobial stuff. So when you use this stuff in your shoes, it actually kind of cleans the insides and everything, in addition to adding a fresh smell. Once those smells or scents dissipate, like the longer that you use this, the better that it smells like glue and leather. That is available right now. We'll also have a link for that down below in the description box. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, these do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear, that's what I would go for. If they feel a little loose or a little floppy, you can use that pump system and it'll tighten up right there on the top of your foot. But to me, I don't think it's really necessary, especially with the way that I like to wear my shoes. I don't typically tie them. They're kind of loose already. So yeah. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you again to Reebok for sending a pair, and we'll catch you on the next one. So until then, have a good one.